ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। हरिः ॐ। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीम् भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि। भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। My namaskars to you all who are listening this talk on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We are deliberating verses from 12th chapter, Dvadasha Adhyaya. Its name is Bhakti Yoga. Now, we have seen until this verses number 11. So, here in these verses from verse number say 8 onwards, so where Bhagavan has given one after another alternatives, and we also saw that these alternatives has then a proportionate, a corresponding fruit also. One thing is to be understood that in Hindu parampara, in Vedic parampara, ultimate is not denied to anyone. But there are several paths, several steps, which some of which might directly lead to it, some might lead to it gradually, step by step. So it is called as Krama Mukti. Krama Mukti. So here ideal is not diluted, but according to the individual capability of the aspirant who is the desirous of such high goal, but not having the requisite qualification, he need not be demoralized. He need not be disappointed or dejected. If one thing which is possible for him, which is doable for him, if he can act upon it, slowly it will lead to further evolution of that individual. So we have seen that in how Bhagwan himself has used a different kind of expression for every other alternative. So in say 6th and 7th verse, he said, Etu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matparaha. So even in this state, in the highest state, Bhagwan is still advocating about the action. He is still taking the side of the action, even in the highest sense. And he himself is the greatest example of it. He is the greatest karma yogi. So he says, Etu sarvani karmani mai sanyasya matparaha ananyena iva yogena mam dhyayanta upasate tesha maham samuddharta mrityu sansara sagarat bhavami na chirat partha mayaveshita chetasam. Mai aveshita chetasam. If there is a such person, such devotee, whose whole heart is completely filled by me, mai aveshita, that he all is this sarvani karmani, means his karma is there, action is there, but they are sanyasya, they are renounced in me, mai sanyasya matpara. That is very wonderful idea. So it is not giving up action. As I corresponded you to this idea, to this 24th verse of the 4th chapter, Brahmarpanam Brahmahavi Brahmagno Brahmanahutam. That is the idea, Mai Sanyasya Matparaha. So that is the Ananya Yoga. Ananyenaiva Yogena Mam Dhyayanto Upasate. So it is a continuous meditation on the divine. How is that? If that is not your natural state, then he says, then try this. Try to attain that state. How? Mai eva mana adhatsva mai buddhim niveshaya nivasishyasi mai eva ata urdhvam na samshaya. So this is the fruit. If that has not become possible, that Ananya Yoga is not becoming possible, by which you are in continuous meditation of that divine, of me, and your whole awareness, whole consciousness is just confined in me only, and all your actions are as if renounced in me. So that is the state of the Jivan Mukta Paramhansa Mahapurush. Who is dealing nothing but in God. If that state is not realized, if you have not reached that state, then what you do? Then you try Mai eva mana adhatsva, that set your mind in me only. Invest your buddhi in me only. Mai eva mana adhatsva mai buddhim niveshaya. So result would be you would come to reside in me. Nivasishyasi mai eva ata urdhvam na sanshaya. There is no further doubt. If that is not possible, atha chittam samadhatum na shaknosi mai stiram. If this is not possible, abhyasa yogena tato mamichhaptum dhananjaya. So this second case is Mayeva mana adhasva, look like a devotion. Then Abhyasa Yogena, look like a yoga. अभ्यासेप्य समर्थोसी मत कर्म परम भव. Look like action. Abhyasepya samarthosi mat karma paramo bhava. Do karma yoga for me. Madartham api karmani kurvan siddhim avapsyasi. That even doing all action for me. Again karma yoga, we remember. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. We can see that verse in this light now. Madartham api karmani. In that way, this would be possible. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Ma karma phala heturvhu ma te sangostva karmani. You can do action for me, all karmas for me. Athay tadapya shaktosi kartum mad yogam ashritah. So mad yogam, this word Bhagavan uses, wonderful word. So mad ashritah yogam. So yoga which is in constant shadow of the divine, mad yogam ashritah, that karma yogam. Athay tadapya shaktosi kartum mad yogam ashritah. Then he says, then try this sarva karma phala tyagam tata kuru yatatmavan. Even that is not possible. Then do whatever you want, but now do not then attach to karma phala. That you renounce in me. If you are not able to renounce karma, all right. If you are not able to do karma for me, even that sense, if that is not, you are not able to hold your consciousness to that level, all right. So do. You are with clean conscience, you do whatever is necessary. But then, when it comes to fruit, because this is what we see many times, the action demands our attention, our concentration, the larger portion of mind. At that time, if the individual, these things, you will realize, you will understand these things, that they very much correspond to the spiritual evolution of that individual. So because it is said, do this, if not, then do this, if not, then do another thing. Why these ifs? Why you cannot take any one of them and do? No, it is not possible. To do these things, that person must be spiritually equipped. He must be able to do it. It is not something that you wish, and if you are not capable of it, you can pretend or you can try. That is something it must do. It is connected to the very reality of yours. That where lies your consciousness. The idea of your consciousness. So, if you are not able to do karma for me, madartham api karma. Madartham api karmani kurvan siddhim avapsyasi. Athay tadapya shaktosi kartum madyogam ashritah sarva karma phalatyagam tatakuru yatatmavan. This adjective is also very telling, yatatmavan. So, yatatma, it means the one who has yata, that is niyata, his atma, that is mind, who is endowed with this yatatmavan, such individual who has his mind very disciplined. Or it can be said in this way, that one who is effortful yatatma. So the person, when this adjective, then we can say one who is very effortful, that means it is not very natural. So his mind cannot recite something which requires your deliberate attention. So you are not quite at your heart. Your energies, mind, your attention is outgoing. It is given to it. There is nothing left for you that you can keep it at the feet of the Lord. That does not become possible. So somebody is an expert. Somebody is expert. Like you are first, when you are learning to ride bicycle, you have to pay much attention to it. If somebody distracts you, you may fall down. But when you learn and when you become very adept, you can do then so many things. You are going along with your friends, you are talking so many errands. With one hand you are riding your bicycle, another thing is engaged in some other thing, carrying some goods, etc. What may not be, helping other person, various things. Without holding your handle of your bicycle, you can ride. You have become that adept. Alright. So you do not have to pay much attention now to ride your bicycle. That is the point. And that's why you are able to give your concentration, your energy, your mind to some other stuff. So when we are effortful, then while doing action, this kartum mad yogam ashritah, mad ashritah yogam. If you are not able to do this yoga, taking shelter in me, then Bhagavan advises, then do this simple thing. So when you are gone through the action, its result will come. At that time you would be at rest. At that time you would be able to, you have gathered your wits, your consciousness, your awareness. Then at that time you can pray to Lord and renounce the claim over the fruits. Do not indulge, do not associate, and do not attach then yourself to the fruits. Now that should be possible. This you must have to do. And because now Bhagavan does not give any further alternative to this. And what is the corresponding fruit? Bhagavan says here, Tyagat Shanti Anantaram. In the 12th verse he says, Shreyohi Jnanam Abhyasat Jnanat Dhyanam Vishishyate Dhyanat Karma Phalat Tyaga Tyagat Shanti Anantaram. So Abhyasat Jnanam. And so Jnana is superior to the practice. Because once you have the knowledge, then it immediately transforms into your action, your behavior. That is the taste of the knowledge. That is the taste of the knowledge. T-S-T. Taste. What is true knowledge? Which will immediately impact your behavior, and after having that knowledge, that point onward, you will never be able to act antagonistic to that knowledge. That is the true knowledge. That is the taste of the knowledge. Suppose you are eating something, it looks everything, but somebody, another person who has taken a bite of it, he is choking on that food. Will you eat that? You do not eat. You know something is wrong with the food. Some problem is there with the food. There is adverse, unacceptable response if it is coming from an individual who has taken a bite of that food. Seeing that, so as soon as you have that knowledge, there is definite change in behavior, and your behavior cannot go against that piece of knowledge, the implication thereof. Knowledge is never a command, so knowledge is like a statement, but what implies from it? What implies is, do not eat that food. So you will not act against it. You have perfect understanding of it. Suppose there is too much cold. Now this is the knowledge. So you should not go into the cold. So that would be the implication. But if there is such a thing that you will have to go, and considering all factors available for evaluation, but you need to go, you are expecting that there is a cold, you are taking that action despite this knowledge, but you know that what you would be expecting. So this would not be considered something that action against the knowledge, antagonist to the knowledge. Your first preference would be not to expose to such a cold, but there are some higher risks, so you have to make a choice. But this action would not be considered something antagonistic to the knowledge. Knowledge will immediately transform into action, into behavioral change. That would be considered as knowledge. Sri Ramakrishna gave wonderful example. He says, like a thief, a good thief, if you come to understand there is a lot of gold in a nearby room, he says he will not be able to sleep, and he would be only wondering, thinking, scheming, planning how to get that gold. That knowledge is so certain that there is no doubt in the mind of the individual who has that knowledge, and all his actions therefore are influenced, are therefore affected by that piece of knowledge. That knowledge never become irrelevant. That is the knowledge. So jnanam therefore is superior to the practice, to the action, because it is something that practice, we are seeking that piece of knowledge only as soon as, and especially in spiritual life, in spiritual struggle, all our efforts, they are directed to get these bites, these pieces of missing piece of knowledge. As soon as you get it, your struggle eases, you are moved one step further. You will always find so. And then you do not become that your effortfulness is gone, it becomes natural for you. You might have to work now further, that is another point. But this step, this particular section, this particular piece, now it is like, when that's why this adjective is used. Karatala amalakavat. So, how is the knowledge? Like that myrobalan avla, if it is put on the palm of your hand, do you have any confusion whether there is myrobalan on the palm of your hand? So as evident, as clear, without any ambiguity, without any confusion, so as evident as it is, as clear and distinct as it is, knowledge should happen like that. That is the knowledge. So understanding, so separating it something from what you say, just ideas, what we hear. So it is not hearsay. Somebody has said, you have read something, you have some half-baked belief in it. It is not that. It is not that. So this knowledge. So abhyasad jnanam. Then he says, jnanad dhyanam vishishyate. You have knowledge. You got the piece of knowledge. That is good. But dhyana, Bhagavan says, is still superior than that. In what sense dhyana is superior? So, whenever we have this knowledge, here what we are trying is unfolding the intricacies of our own mind so that this Atman will reveal, and that's what we understand as knowledge. Swami Vivekanandaji gives a very wonderful example, very nice example. He says, like when Newton discovered the gravity, where was the gravity? In the apple? Taking that legend as true, of course. Considering that story is true, that apple fell on the head of the Newton, and then he was prodded to ask this question, why does this apple fall on the earth? Why does it go travel or fly in the sky? So what is that force which pulls everything down toward the center of the earth? What is that? And so to say, gravitation is born, etc., etc. So where was this gravitation? Was it in the center of the earth? Was it in the apple? The knowledge which is revealed to him, to the Newton, that he puts few pieces together and as if it completes the picture, and that resistance, that hesitation, that ambiguity is dispelled, that ignorance is dispelled, Atman manifests, that light shines through. That's what we know as knowledge. When we put few things together in appropriate order and the light of Atman shines through, that we call as knowledge, then we have this anubhuti that I have known, aham gacchami, I have understood. I have got that knowledge. Now, so this jnana, with the help of this effort, practice of any kind, you are engaged, like you might be doing karma, action, and sometime it revealed to you, oh, if you go this way, this is the secret of this. I have been all the time doing it a foolishly wrong way. Now this, if you go, this is simpler, this is the quickest method, this is the best solution to it. Yes, very well. Alright. So, in all your physical or psychological intellectual struggle, so you will find this bites of knowledge, jnanam, which will reveal, which will immediately will help you, ease you, it will affect your behavior, and it will better your practice abhyasa, all for good. Okay. Now, what does dhyana do? Why dhyana is superior to jnana? So ultimately, because the source of knowledge, as if it does not lies in the particulars of the thing, but if you discover this particular ability to concentrate your mind, to penetrate and incisively dissect the situation so that it reveals before you, and you can as if make this Atman manifest clearly, easily, and faster way. So dhyana is the pure practice of it. So once this ability is generated, then it can be applied to anything else, and this recovery or the process of gaining this knowledge would be very easy. Then every time you can apply this like a magic wand, and you will have knowledge, and it will further ease and better your practice. Abhyasa, jnana and dhyana. So dhyana therefore is much superior. If you get success in it, it is of course because it is superior to be difficult. It is a core skill. So if you develop that, then jnana would be more accessible. If jnana is there, it will reflect in all kinds of practices. Abhyasa. So dhyana is superior. And jnana dhyana vishishyate, Bhagavan says, now dhyanat karma phalatyaga. Now what is superior to dhyana? Even he says, superior to dhyana is karma phalatyaga. Now how it is connected? Why karma phalatyaga is superior from the dhyana itself? What does karma phalatyaga earns or facilitates? So when we are practicing dhyana, what is the impediment? What is the challenge? Where is the resistance coming from? Why it is difficult? What is the difficulty? Yes, the whole difficulty is me, the individual itself. His notion of individuality and whatever he attributes, associate, and all this jumble he form around it. That is the difficulty. This is what clogs the way. This is what contributes to ajnana. Pile after pile, cover after cover. And that's what so much this strong attachment to the self. So much it would be difficult for that individual to slowly proceed in this path. So your attachments and desires, as much that ego is strong, that much his drive for protection and propagation would be stronger. So much his desires would be stronger. And so much it would be difficult for that individual to dive deep. You will not be able to, because you are heavy, you are not sukshma. You are guru, you are not laghu. You are heavy. Guru means heavy. Laghu means light. Jada, gross, you are not sukshma. Then this knowledge, sukshmaya sukshma darshibhihi. This is what Upanishads say. Sukshmaya. So buddhi has to be sukshma. And the person has to be sukshma darshi, with such penetrating incisive intellect, develop in a totally different way, in a different dimension. That individual will have this experience of Atman. So where does karma phalatyaga comes here? Because karma phalatyaga facilitates exactly to loosen your attachment to the self. If what does attachment? Because when I totally believe in myself, and therefore my drives, this propagation and protection, they are stronger. Therefore my desires, therefore my karma phala, I would have stronger attachment to it, because definitely to protect myself and propagate myself, everything whatever I am doing. But what you see, every evolution, especially spiritual evolution of individual, social evolution of the individual, intellectual, psychological development of the individual, it comes through the sacrifice. It comes through the giving up. It comes through the renunciation. Tyagena eke amrutatvam manashuhu. So what you call a more civilized being, more cultured being, more evolved individual, who has developed this capacity to give up his petty, small interest, sacrifice them for the sake of larger good. then you call that person godly, divine, who do not care for himself, who are ready to sacrifice for the good of others. And he is not protective, he is not too attached, too defensive to protect his interest or further his interest, then that individual you say is the divine. In normal nominal terms also, who are more liberal, who are more large-hearted, who can accommodate, who can tolerate, who is more forgiveful, who is more kind, and who can let go of his self-interest, that individual you called a more godlike person, isn't it? So how is this becoming possible? Because he, by that way, giving up upon his steadfastness with the claims of the fruits, karma phala, by that karma phala tyaga, he is loosening that grip of that ignorance that I am body and mind only. That he is asserting that I am not only body and mind, I am this Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swabhava Atman. So once this ignorance is dispelling, once these covers of the ignorance are dispelling, they are getting removed, so Atman will manifest. When these desires are weakening, they are subduing, and that person, so that's why it will create that more conducive atmosphere, this Satvikta will emerge. What will happen in that? So his buddhi would not be laden, coarse and driven by the self-interest only, selfishness only. So this energy becomes more refined, more purified, and then it becomes possible for him to slowly travel towards this Atman within oneself, and it will facilitate the dhyana. So what dhyana has to achieve? Dhyana has to achieve to remove this ignorance through samadhi. Karma phalatyaga will similarly hasten or facilitate the same goal. So therefore, dhyanat karma phalatyaga. So karma phalatyaga is superior to dhyana. Swamiji emphasizes or shows the importance of this idea. He says at one place that unselfishness is God. In one word, so that is this pure unselfishness, that is the God itself. Not godly quality, not quality, but the perfect unselfishness is the God. So when there is no lower self and selfishness, then what remains? Then what remains is only true self, and that is the God. The pure consciousness bereft of all notions of false self, lower self, and that is the true notion of that the perfect higher divine consciousness. Now, dhyanat karma phalatyaga, and Bhagavan says, so what would be the fruit of this? Bhagavan says its fruit is immediate, tyagat shanti anantaram. If you can do this, any person can do this, forget what it will lead to. The immediate result at hand, it would be shanti, the peace of mind. If you can really renounce your claim, your attachment to the fruits of the action, that peace would be the taste of it, that you are, yes, you have perfectly renounced that claim. You are not just muttering, not saying that your brain is saying one thing, your heart is acting in another intention, in another direction. It is not that. So that coherence is there, that self, that belief is there, that integrity is there. That all right. That I do not claim any fruit of success or even of the failure, of the fame or defaming, of praise or insult, of gain or loss. That perfect renunciation has achieved in that divine. And this idea, many times, what happens? So idea, it may sound very easy when Bhagavan says so. There is similar incidents in the life of Sri Ramakrishna. There was this devotee Girish Chandra Ghosh. So he had led a very wayward life, and even when he came to see Sri Ramakrishna, was meeting Sri Ramakrishna, was motivated by him. Though he might have left his other abuses of life, he was still a heavy drinker. He was a great drunkard. And in that drunken state, even he used to lose that awareness. And sometimes he even abused Sri Ramakrishna also. So such a person, but whenever now he is coming to his normal self or otherwise self, you can say anyway. So he is pleading to Sri Ramakrishna that he may have devotion, etc., realization of God. So similarly in this way, Sri Ramakrishna is saying that you have to do a lot of tapasya, austerity, karma. This was Sri Ramakrishna to say, that karma being jap, dhyan, etc. With that you become eligible. Otherwise, how you are going to have? So you have to give at least some excuse. The grace of the God is there, but give at least some excuse, do something, so that God may give vision to you. He says that in my state, when I am drunk, I am not even aware where I am and what I am doing. What do you expect me to do this thing? And then their dialogue ensues. He says, no. If I have to do so many things, then why I have come to you? Then what good are you? I am not consenting to such kind of agreement. This is not acceptable for me. I will not do any this kind of stuff. And then says, you see, at least he says, so Sri Ramakrishna giving alternative one after another. He says, at least once in a day. He says, you do 108 times your japa. He said, even he rejects that offer. He says, not even I cannot promise even 108 times. Not even single time. I do not know whether I would be aware, whether I will forget this everything. And when this negotiation is going on between master and the disciple, then Sri Ramakrishna ultimately says to him, then okay, all right. Then he says, then give me that your power of attorney. Bakalma. Bakalma means, or the power of attorney means, though you are the owner, rightful owner of some property or some estate or some business or any now monetary, commercial or whatsoever assets, if you give the power of attorney, the next person is entitled to act in full power for whatsoever reason. There is no limitation, as good as the owner himself, and owner cannot stop him. So that is called the power of attorney. limitless. So he says, but what there is another implication of it is, now the owner cannot act. That is another thing. Owner cannot act anymore. He does not hold now any right of action, because all right of action is given to the next person. He cannot act now. Only action he can take is revoke the power of attorney, withdraw the power of attorney through a proper procedure, and then only he will be able to act, not without that. So here in this case, Sri Ramakrishna says to Girish Ghosh that give me the power of attorney then. You do not have to do anything. Whatever it has to be done, I will do. But remember, you do not have to do anything. And this fellow is also very worldly fellow. He says, I am very happy that you are taking full responsibility. I am very happily, I give you this power of attorney. So Sri Ramakrishna says to him, so see, now remember that you cannot act on your behalf. It is only I do. So he does not realize the meaning of it. Now whatever happens to Girish or in the life of Girish, because when we consider something as spiritual aspect and spiritual practice, then from its arena and from its ambit, nothing escapes. You are not spiritual at the end of the day for 1 hour and in particular place on particular days of the calendar. It is not. That is not spirituality. Not a breath. Your existence itself is covered under it. Because we are dealing with such principle which is so fundamental. Now, slowly Girish is thinking about this idea. He has already said, given his word, that whatever Sri Ramakrishna will do, whatever Master will do, so he alone will do. He cannot be but just mute witness. You cannot. So when he comes to think of it, he realizes that how terrible this idea is. That even to react to anything would be like going into action, that you cannot even react. So when his young son, only son of 8 years old, whom he loved like anything, when he dies, Girish realizes that I cannot but be witness, I cannot even cry. So this idea, therefore, slowly dawns upon, even after passing away of Sri Ramakrishna, when he is trying to live that idea thoroughly, it slowly dawns upon him that how profound and how grave its implications are. So similarly, here when Bhagavan is saying to Arjuna, Tyagat Shanti Anantaram, that you do this karma phala tyaga. Karma phalas tyaga tatah kuru yatatmavan. Athay tadapya shaktosi kartum madhyogam ashritah. Karma phalas sarva karma phalas tyagam tatah kuru yatatmavan. So sarva karma phala tyaga. This you have to do. And if it is perfected, if it is matured, and how it will translate into, what it will translate into, that state of the mind of that individual, how that devotee will become after renouncing the claims of whatsoever fruits of whatsoever action. Sarva karma phalatyaga. What is karma? Everything is karma. That is the grand idea. Your existence itself become a karma. All your not only anything which happens in active wise, meaning that which you deliberately do, kayik, vachik, manasik. Not only that. So, manasik means even thinking something would be karma. Alright? But even in passive wise, that is anubhava, it will also be. Because what is karma? Which will generate the karma phala. And as long as notion of ego is there, ahankara is there, it will generate in both cases fruit. Fruit to it will generate. The way you give pratikriya in the form of being feeling happy or sad in a particular anubhava, in a particular experience, it will leave an imprint. It will leave a sanskara. So, fruit is generated. So, you will not be able to escape that. So, in any case of karma or anubhava, so whatever it will come to pass and whatever you would be exposed to, now you would not have any qualms whatsoever. You would have been renounced all karma phala in the divine, at the feet of the divine, at the feet of the Lord. And you do not associate and attach and say it is mine. That you are making every attempt, every effort to let that sense of mine to dissolve at the feet of the Lord. And how that individual will transform into what it would be, his lakshanas are therefore enumerated from this verse number 13 till the end of this chapter. And when you notice that, you will be reminded of the Sthita Prajna Lakshana from the second chapter, the state of the perfected Sthita Prajna, state of the perfected Jnani. So this is how this devotee will attain this stage, and this is the meaning of this Sarva Karma Phalatyaga. Or all the other alternatives, as Bhagavan has discussed, they will have to reach this to this state. This is the state of the devotee as mentioned in Bhakti Yoga of Srimad Bhagavad Gita in this Dvadasha Dhyaya. So that we will see in, so next Sunday 17th we will not have class because we would be going to Sakwar and we will not be able to return from there by the time of the class. So we will then 17th and next Sunday would be 24th. So 24th we are likely to have class. There is one program throughout the day, but by 4:30 they would be over. 5:30 we can have class. So there is no problem. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.